What's up, guys? That guy with the pencil here, and let's talk about Taizai. The last couple chapters have come out. Now, I haven't been reviewing Taizai for a minute because I had heard that Taizai was ending recently, and while cast reintroduction was very, very cool, I was just like, you know what? I don't think this arc is going to take that long. I'd rather not review chapter by chapter, get myself all hyped up when I think I know where this is going to go. And just as I feared, we are getting very few answers to anything, and Kath was taken care of immediately. But before I get into any real negative thoughts, let me talk about what I do like. I like a lot of things about these chapters. What I really, really do like is Kath's design. I really, really like the monster Kath. Like, he hit this nice balance between like a cat and like the terrifying beast that he actually was. Cat Paolo was really, really cool. I'm not sure if that is his original form or something like that, or some mutation. I don't know. I think it's amazing. I like that. I like the fact that he's like way more powerful. It implies way more into the lore than I even thought Chaos was. Like, I thought despite knowing better, honestly, I thought the Taizai universe was just linear. Like, there was one main timeline, and that was really it. But no, Kath quite literally brings up the fact that actually there are countless timelines that he can see and send people into and make that work over and over and over again. And he can do that instantly by just looking at someone. I think all of Kath's powers are really, really cool. I like the fact that he's quite literally stated to be a being that transcends life and death. Like, that is a extremely hype statement. I think all of Kath's hype was really, really cool. I also really, really like Meliodas' future Meliodas' King Meliodas, basically. I really like King Meliodas. That's just really cool to me. I don't know, like, I just think it looks amazing. Like, I love the fluff. I especially love his transformation. That's what I'm drawing right now. Like, I love Meliodas' transformation in Demon Arc when he's in that king outfit. I don't know. I feel like it fits him so well. Like, this is really what he's been leading up to after all these years. And I like the mental anguish that Kath puts Meliodas through. Like, all his friends have abandoned him. He's left alone. Elizabeth is about to die. And this is after all the sins managed to damage this multi-galaxy threat in this one alternate timeline. But everyone's left him alone. He's on his own. And he's just about to lose the love of his life. And she's never going to see him again. And he's a demon, so he still has hundreds upon hundreds of years to still live on and do what he needs to do as king of Leonis. And then Kath pops back up and is just like, yo, looking sad, bro. How this feel, bro? You ain't nothing. If you just let me kill y'all and eat Arthur all them years ago, you wouldn't have to deal with this, Meliodas. But then Meliodas is just like, nah, my bonds are eternal. And he actually breaks out of the alternate timeline. And that's kind of wild. I really like that. I like the interaction that Meliodas and Kath have. I like Kath in general. I wish he stuck around longer. And let's get negative. So Merlin's motivations, none of that was retconned or revealed to be a lie or some deeper thing. No, she just did everything for knowledge as a backup and didn't consider the consequences at all. And just as I predicted, Merlin was written off for this. Like the story is acting like her wish isn't a massive problem. That was very, very dangerous. And if Arthur hadn't suddenly figured out how to eat Kath first, then we would be telling a very different story right now, because Kath would have won and everything would have been destroyed. All because Merlin was vibing a little too hard with the fact that she got rejected and decided the next best thing was to release the most dangerous entity to have ever existed in the entire Taizai universe. Because she got rejected by Meliodas. I know some people have tried to say that it's fine that Merlin liked Meliodas because that's not her primary motivation for going to knowledge, but my whole issue with that was the fact that Merlin did not immediately have a motivation for knowledge. In fact, she was the exact opposite. She didn't care about learning or knowledge or anything like that. That was just the backup when she got rejected. and she didn't go from, oh, I'm already interested in learning things, but you know what, I'll learn a little bit more now. She went from, I don't really want to learn, I want to live and be free, to, you know what, I'm gonna lock myself in books because this random demon guy rejected me. You know, whatever, I'm not even gonna get into Merlin. It's probably a whole video for a later date. But what I also don't like is, so I didn't mind when Kath was defeated quick initially. I feel like it was a good, quick, clean way to introduce us to Arthur's new level of power and how dangerous he was now as the host for Chaos. However, when you reintroduce Kath, you give him this interesting new power set. You hype up a fight with Kath. You give us one of the coolest 2-page spreads that we've ever seen in Taizai, in my opinion. All 6 of the sins fighting alongside each other against Kath, Merlin locking Kath in time. All that's really, really cool. But then, like, the next chapter, you just have Kath immediately lose to Arthur again. Like, Nakaba, I know you love your fake outs, but now that one was kind of just insulting. And I feel like, not necessarily that my time was wasted, but I don't know, I just feel a little bit insulted. Like, we had such an interesting going on. Something so interesting going on with Kath and the potential fights that we could have with 2 reality warpers that are on this multi-galaxy scale that can just go back and forth with one another, instantly creating things and destroying things, and just the sins trying to work alongside Arthur and stuff like that. So that could have led to some really cool visuals, but no, you just had to instantly have Arthur pull out the Uno reverse card and be like, yeah, nah, dog, no, you, and eat Kath. I know it works because that technically was a plan anyway, but whatever. I don't know, I feel like Kath's entire character, especially for, like, initially I thought Kath had no hype, but now looking back at Kath and all that Kath has done over these past few hundreds of chapters, his build-up was actually pretty strong. In fact, I feel like he had build-up nearly on par with, like, the Demon King and the Supreme Deity, if not as good, I'll admit. Like, he wasn't a focal point of the story, but relative to Arthur and relative to Merlin and relative to what the current arc was, he had a good enough amount of build-up that you could have had this, like, intense fight with Kath. I feel like would have been more interesting than the Demon King fight, because the Demon King fight, while good, was, like, limited to what you could do. But when you quite literally have 2 characters that can create and destroy and manipulate reality to their whim, break physics, open up pocket dimensions, and do all this wild stuff, and you just don't, because some reason, I don't know, that just kind of disappoints me in every way, shape, and form. But hey, who am I but a Taizai guy? Another thing I don't like Excalibur's new design. Is that just me? Like, I really don't like the weird curve and then the straight blade. I really preferred, like, the balance aspect that the blade originally had, where it was both light and darkness. And I don't know, kind of just saddens me. It's like you simplify, like, a really interesting concept that light and darkness can't live without one another, but now you kind of just have, like, an all light blade, and it's kind of boring. I do like how you're skipping over all of Kath's stuff, because it basically just resolves itself. Like, Kath, you could have, that's the thing, that's what actually gets me. You could have removed Kath from the narrative and just have had Merlin awaken Arthur as the Chaos King, and nothing would have changed. That's the sad thing. But I do like how Meliodas goes back to Leonis, and he's actually just like, yeah, I'll be king. Just let me have my honeymoon with my love, with the love of my life first, and we'll be right back. And Elizabeth is like that too. I like that. I'm afraid we aren't gonna see King and Diane's wedding or any of that stuff, and that's kind of disappointing to me. I don't like how they're kind of just being written off, especially considering they're 2 of the remaining sins, and King is one of the best character arcs in the entire series, and we probably just aren't gonna see, like, a true good conclusion to that. Something tells me we aren't. Same thing with Bond and Elaine just traveling. I figured that, like, Elaine of all people would be determined to go see her brother finally reach his happiness that he's been waiting for years, but no, they're just gonna go around drinking ale, and I guess that works for Bond's character. But I feel like even Bond would be, like, a bit more sentimental for what is going to happen. And also a bit concerned about like why no one is staying to see Elizabeth and Meliodas get married. Like, why not? I'm kind of confused because all of you are friends. Like, this is exactly lining up with Meliodas's alternate timeline that he was thrust into, that Kath set up for him. It's just that Kath isn't there anymore. So, not really liking where it's going. It's kind of just awkward for me. And final thing I have to touch on is I'm torn on the fact that Wilde is still alive and he still has apparently 1,000,000 years to live. Like, his last all-out death attack wasn't really a last all-out death attack. I don't know how long Purgatory Beasts are supposed to live, but apparently they got some life in them, because 1,000,000 years is a long time. That's longer than any of the demons, the fairies, the giants. That's longer than any of them live. And it really makes me wonder, what is Purgatory? Like, we have an explanation for the demon realm, the fairy realm, and the giants kind of just roam the earth. And we have an explanation for the celestial realm. We have an explanation for the mortal world, but I don't know what Purgatory is. And I don't mind that staying unanswered. I'll be completely fine with that staying unanswered. However, I do have some questions. Obviously, Taizai is winding down again. Could this be a fake out and Nakaba is just going to keep the manga going like he did last time when he did ad block chapters? I don't know. I honestly would hope so, because I still have questions. But I wouldn't mind if we got like a Taizai Shippuden or a Taizai GT or Taizai Super or whatever, a continuation that focuses on Arthur. Because I can see what Nakaba's doing here. All the stories of the characters we've seen have basically concluded. We have some weird outliers, like we have Gowther going out on his own for some reason. I find that concerning. I don't know. I still have this like backwater, don't trust Gowther mentality in my head right now, so I'm feeling a little bit concerned about everybody's favorite trap. I don't know, and I feel like Bond dying is something that's not going to be addressed even in a future series, and that's also something that concerns me. But obviously, you know me. If you watched any of my previous reviews, you know what I'm gonna talk about: the Supreme Deity. Now, here's the thing. We know she's still alive or sealed or something, because it just has not been deconfirmed that she's dead or something like that. And obviously she isn't dead, because Merlin decreed that one of them had to die. One of the old gods had to die for chaos to be awakened. And I don't get why. I feel like, I hope all this light symbolism with Arthur is going to lead to like the light being wrong in some sense, and like the Supreme Deity is going to come down and like do something. Because I don't know, like, why would you introduce and hype up a character so much? A character that gives origin to one of the most powerful abilities in the series in Sunshine, that allows a being that is a human like Escanor to box one-on-one with the full power Demon King when at his peak. Like, how do you introduce a character like that and then just not give us any answers on it? And then in Arthur's case, even if we do get a sequel series, what's gonna stop Arthur? Like, unless you go the Naruto route or you go the Dragon Ball route where aliens come down, even the Supreme Deity is now fodder to Arthur, because it took the Supreme Deity and the Demon King working together to beat Chaos originally, but now you only have one. So even if the Supreme Deity drops down to like attack Meliodas or something, Meliodas calls in a quick call to Arthur and be like, hey yo, could you like roll through real quick, smack this old lady up, and then roll out again? And Arthur be like, I bet. So I don't know. I feel like they're gonna have to lean towards aliens, or they're gonna have to pull something. So Nakaba's gonna have to reach somewhere in his deep toolbox of lore and pull out something I missed. Because I don't know. Like, I have faith in Nakaba. I always do. Because he has blown me away before. I was worried about King. I was worried about Bond for the longest. I was worried about Gowther. I was even worried about Meliodas and Escanor for a short time. But he managed to pull those characters out and make something great with them. So I'm hoping something comes out of this. But at the moment, I'm very concerned about the future of Taizai and how it's ending. But that is all I have to say for now. I know I haven't reviewed in a while, but that's just because I've been waiting. I Also, once I heard the series was ending soon, I possibly just was just like, you know what, no, I'll just get started on a few new review series, something consistent. I'd rather not take each week drawing a unique drawing each time for Taizai if it's just going to be the same plot just going and going and going. But yeah, that's really it. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, leave a comment, tell me if you agree with me, tell me if there's anything I'm possibly missing and that you're still hyped for in Taizai, because I really got nothing. Tell me if you think I'm crazy and you think that the Cath fight had the perfect ending or whatever. If you like the video, leave a like. Dislike the video, leave a dislike. Please, I'm fine with either. Just tell me in the comments below. And if you really want to go that extra step, and if this isn't your first dabble into the pencil world, hit that red subscribe button. It's free. It's free. We are not on Twitch. Don't worry, it's free. Just hit the subscribe button. And if you really want to go the extra mile and you want to see all my videos that come out, hit the notification bell, and then you're good to go. I love that. If every single person who saw this video subscribed, that'd be great. Every person who saw this video commented, that'd be great. I know it's not gonna happen, but I'm asking you just to help me out a little bit. The more I see interaction, the more I'm gonna want to interact with you guys. It just makes me happy to see people commenting and talking in the comment section. But that is all from me.